It's time now for Focus, and today our correspondents in China are reporting on a sad consequence of the country's notorious one-child policy. Brought in 1979 to curb the rapidly growing population, today the policy means there's an imbalance between the number of elderly and the number of young people who can help to take care of them. Pierre-Philippe Berson and Rachel Rubel report.
Mr. Sun has lived alone for years. He's divorced from his wife and lost his son Yinmin at the age of 20 to cancer in 2002. Mr. Sun has no other son. Yinmin was his only child.
My kid is dead, and I know I won't have any descendants.
Mr. Sun used to work as a railway worker, but now he's retired. He earns a monthly pension of 360 euros. It's a small income in China where medical care is very basic, and seeing the doctor is still very expensive for lower-class people like Mr. Sun.
I had to pay for my son's hospital stay. I sold my house, and when he died, I became homeless before having enough money to find this apartment. Now I suffer from skin disease and I cannot afford the treatments. I have no child or relatives to help me.
The loss of a child is terrible, but in China it also means falling into poverty. Mr. Sun relied on his son to take care of him in his later years. Now he lives alone and he is angry with authorities. He's launched several petitions to ask for financial assistance. So far, he's gotten no answer.
In the 80s, at the beginning of the one-child policy, nobody expected the problems that old people are facing today. At that time, the government said, "Don't worry, we will help you in your old days." It's not true. Nobody is helping us.
The social discontent is growing. In May, 600 parents protested in Beijing in front of the Family Planning Center, the administration in charge of the one-child policy. All of them have lost a son or a daughter. They want help from authorities. Since that measure was implemented in 1979, 10 million families have lost their only child. Among them, Mr. and Mrs. Chen. Their son died during an earthquake 7 years ago.
We wanted to have another child. We went to several hospitals. We met many doctors. But finally, it didn't work out. I was too old to get pregnant again.
Today, their worker pension is not enough to make ends meet. They're almost 60 years old and they have to go to work again in this street restaurant in Chengdu in central China.
When he was alive, my son used to tell me, "Don't worry, Mama. I'll help you with Daddy. It'll be my turn to give you some money."
Elderly people are the collateral victims of the one-child policy. One of the symptoms of this problem, in China, the suicide rate in the elderly is among the highest in the world.
Of the 10 million parents who lost their only child, many of them committed suicide. There are many reasons for that. First, the emotional shock, and then some economic reasons. The financial aspect is not that big, the emotional factor is bigger. Having no descendants affects you strongly. This is a new phenomenon, and we're just starting to study it.
The Chinese population is getting older very fast. By 2050, China will have 473 million senior citizens, 1/3 of its total population.